Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of Mondays Are for the Nerds. I'm your co-host, Jay Wright.
I'm your other co-host, Tristan Stump. If you hear any random noises in the background, we are kind of dog sitting and recording at the same time because my parents are currently driving back from watching one of the this week's releases, which we won't have thoughts
on. For your dad's birthday! Happy birthday, Papa Stump.
Yes, happy birthday. Since we don't do the celebrity birthdays, it won't be in there. But anyway, and their dog, who I usually would maybe leave alone for the short amount of time that we decided to get into a bunch of stuff he shouldn't have and is now sick. So he is under our watch while he is currently moping about not being in the room with the other dogs. But he'll be okay.
He'll be all right.
Other than a stomach ache, he's acting fine. He's not lethargic or anything, so I'm not too worried about the amount of sugar and chocolate that he ate. Yeah. I'm only glad only one of those things was made out of chocolate. I don't know if we have any small talk
I've been busy with work and the show.
At all?
I've been so busy. I haven't done anything. I played more Assassin's Creed, and that's it.
Well, my small talk will have to wait for later. We'll have to wait for later in the episode.
Big old one.
Which, spoiler alert by the title of the episode, but you'll see.
Yeah.
For once, I think I have more overall news than you.
Oh, yeah.
You have something big, but you're.
It's like just like a fast through it.
Yeah, you've gotten good at getting through those things fast.
Yeah.
And
I don't even have that many releases, really.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything like, what's something I researched this week that I can. The last couple of days, I have done a lot of reading entire Wikipedia articles about DC characters. It started with me going like, I wonder what like obviously I know about Superman and Lois Lane and even like Perry White and Jimmy Olsen. Like those are what it started with is someone brought up one of the kryptonites and I was like, let me see what that kryptonite does in the comics.
Yeah.
And then it led to me reading about the history of Jimmy Olsen and like his solo appearances. And then that led me to reading about Lois Lane's sister, who has a very interesting history of being like kind of a one note. Oh, it's just her sister. She's a flight attendant and she might be into Jimmy Olsen, but you never know because he has a crush on her, but she never, you know, different things. Or they date for a little bit or something like that. And then, they do date and then later it's kind of retconned where, then they start to make the characters more in depth in the comics. So Lois has a complicated relationship with her dad. So they make her sister a little more anti-hero-esque, and she does marry somebody and have a kid with somebody from the Daily Planet. But then later, when they decide to retcon that again and they reboot the universe again, she has no relationship with them. And anyway, so that was interesting, and that just led down to this rabbit hole of like, I was like,
find a link and click on that, and then find a link on that,
and then I was like, Cat Grant. I wonder what kind of changes she's been through, and so I knew passively about Cat Grant's like personality and stuff. I knew she was kind of like the flirty one or whatever. Yeah. But hot take, the first iteration of a character might be the best iteration when it comes to Cat Grant of my opinion of what I read about like the character arc she went through. Because in the original incarnation, she was kind of flirty, but she was also like hired to be a gossip. So, like whether or not she was a real journalist was in question. And so she tries to prove herself because she's a single mom. She moved from California to Metropolis to do this. She's going to prove herself. She gets kidnapped by somebody. So she gets a bodyguard in the future after that. And the bodyguard is like a superhero. It's like Icon or something. Yeah. And they fall in love, but her son doesn't accept him because, he isn't his dad who emotionally abused cats, but he's too young to realize that. And so that's interesting. And then eventually Toyman kills her son. And so she undergoes this, like, she becomes like even more flirty than before. And Clark is like, I think she's just dealing with that by becoming like a worse version of herself. Yeah. And then after the universe is rebooted, she's just the flirty, aggressive Cat Grant. And then they rebooted the universe again, and now she's just mean businesswoman Cat Grant from the Supergirl show. They just put that into the comics. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, so that's like, I just kind of went down that rabbit hole of like,
Yeah.
well, what's all the different ways these characters have evolved, and some of them undergo complete,
Ones that you don't know about.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Cat Grant, like undergoes complete character changes and stuff, and then there's ones that are like, they're the main superheroes, so really the only change they get is something in their backstory, like Martian Manhunter, his backstory. It fluctuates. Like he originally wasn't the last of his kind, and
Yeah.
there's even still some iterations of him that aren't the last of his kind. But most famously, you would probably know him as the last Green
yeah.
Martian, and
Yeah. What little I know of him, that's all I
yeah.
know.
But I've just been, because of Superman, I've been on this DC Comics kick, and then I read that fantasy one. Did I talk about that? I finished it on here.
I think because you told me some spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah, so I finished that, and then I read a sequel to The Long Halloween called Dark Victory, and it's they advertise it as Robin's backstory for this version of Batman, but it's not really Robin's backstory until you get to the last like 4 out of the 13 issues.
Yeah.
Before that, it's just this big build up to the Gotham crime family dealing with the death of Falcone and. Anyway,
Yeah.
So that one's also super good. Of course, it's the guys that make Long Halloween.
So
of
it's
course,
gonna
it's
be
super
good.
good.
Trying to get my releases for this week because I didn't do anything. Like I said,
Yeah.
I was so busy. In movies on theaters and in theaters, Friday, July 18th brought I Know What You Did Last Summer, the legacy sequel, I guess is what you call it. When 5 friends inadvertently cause a deadly car accident, they cover up their involvement and make a pact to keep it a secret rather than face the consequences. 1 year later, the past comes back to haunt them as they learn someone knows what they did last summer. Stalked by a mysterious killer, they soon seek help from 2 survivors of the legendary Southport Massacre of 1997. Smurfs also hit theaters when evil wizards Razamel and Gargamel take Papa Smurf. The Smurfs embark on a mission to the real world to save him. With help from some new friends, they must discover what defines their destiny to save the universe. And Eddington came out, Ari Aster's new film. During the COVID-19 pandemic, a standoff between a small-town sheriff and mayor sparks a powder keg as neighbor is pitted against neighbor in Eddington, New Mexico. On the TV side of things, Wednesday, July 16th saw the season 3 premiere of The Summer I Turned Pretty, which is also the final season on Amazon Prime Video. Thursday, July 17th saw season 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds premiere on Paramount Plus, and Untamed season 1 released on Netflix. And Friday, July 18th, The Nice Guy season 1 released on Disney Plus. That is all of my releases for this week. Like I said, not a lot at all.
I actually have quite a few releases.
Yes, including a big one.
On July 14th, we have Dawn Apart, entering early access on PC from developer Industrial Technology and Witchcraft and publisher Astrological. Dawn Apart is a space colony and factory sim with fully destructible environments. Mine, automate, and defend your settlers or lead a rebellion against the very corporation pulling your strings. As well as Hunters Inc. on PC from Wilderzone. Hunters Inc. is a 1 to 4 player co-op melee first-person shooter featuring rampaging orc hunters, gigantic monsters to slay, and procedurally generated environments teeming with deadly flora and fauna. As well as Kaizen, a factory story on PC from developer Coincidence and publisher Astrological. Kaizen is an open-ended puzzle automation game from the original Zachtronics team. Set in 1980s Japan, design, build, and optimize production lines to create iconic products like calculators, camcorders, and arcade machines. On July 15th, Arc Aquatica Expansion released, and Destiny 2 Edge of the Fate DLC released. Becoming Saint on PC from developers Open Lab Games and publisher Fire Squad and 2P Games. Choose your doctrine and preach across medieval Italy in this real-time strategy roguelike. Gather your diverse cast of followers, venture out to convince and convert new believers, conquer towns, and strive to become a saint in your lifetime or die trying.
I love that.
Yeah, become a saint simulator. And
Become
making
a
it like
saint.
a roguelite with real-time strategy, it's strange. A Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter Nights 2 Definitive Edition released on all major platforms from Aspyr Media. The fate of the Forgotten Realms is in your hands. Return to the city of Neverwinter in Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition. Eden Zero, released on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox from Konami. This is a 3D action role-playing game based on the space fantasy comic and anime Eden Zero by Hiro Mishima, creator of Fairy Tail and Rave Master. The player controls a diverse cast of characters as they embark on an epic adventure across different planets while battling powerful enemies. It is basically, if you like Fairy Tail, it's not one for one the same exact anime, obviously. Like, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But it's like straight up, there's just some sci-fi versions of characters from Fairy Tale and the new versions of characters that look like they might be like a parallel universe version of Fairy Tale. Although I don't know if it's ever like, he wouldn't ever play with that, like, oh yeah, they are parallel universes or something. Like, he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But it is pretty, like, it's kind of cool that he's reinventing character designs and stuff and reusing that for a sci-fi setting instead of a fantasy setting. All that to say, I'm a big fan and I liked the anime. I wish it had been able to cover the whole manga because I think the anime already got canceled. But at least we're getting a video game out of it.
Yeah.
Also on July 15th was Eric Sholm, The Stolen Dream on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation from developer River End Games and publisher Nordcurrent Labs. Experience an isometric narrative-driven stealth game and join Hannah's adventure in the vibrant city of Eric Sholm. The mysterious disappearance of her brother Herman ignites a chain of catastrophic events that will forever change their lives and the fate of the entire city. July 16th saw the release of Worship on PC from Chasing Rats Games. Incite the end of the world as a devout zealot of an eldritch god in this Pikmin-inspired roguelite. Don the robes of occultists, perform rituals, and expand your influence over an army of followers in this cute yet grim world. Is your devotion strong enough to please the old ones? So yeah, Pikmin, but instead of a bunch of little plant guys, you have a cult of people that you're trying to use to summon Cthulhu.
I was going to say, I've never heard the word cute be used in the same thing as a cult.
Oh, so you never heard of Cult of the Lamb?
I was going to say My Little Pony. Anyway.
July 17th saw the release of Back to the Dawn on PC and Xbox from developer Metalhead Games and publisher Spiral Up Games. Back to the Dawn is a story-rich RPG set in a high-security prison ruled by factions and buried secrets. Investigate two conspiracies from inside, gather evidence, and outsmart a system designed to silence you. Make friends or foes with fellow inmates, and with their help, break out of prison. Beat 'em Up Collection Cubite Classics, released on all major platforms from Cubite Interactive. Beat 'em Up Collection brings together 7 intense side-scrolling action games in a retro-fueled compilation. From ancient legends to dystopian futures, punch, kick, and slash your way through waves of enemies in pure 16-bit style. Dread Zone entered early access on PC from Ished. Dread Zone is a survival game set in a deadly quarantine zone. Scavenge for resources, craft tools, build shelter, and survive against dangerous animals, zombies, mutants, and other survivors. Explore the zone where your desperation drives everyone to do whatever it takes. Drill Core on PC from developer Hungry Couch Games and publisher Tiny Build. Corporate greed meets strategic planet mining in Drill Core. Drill to the heart of planets while managing workers, researching cutting-edge tech, and fortifying against alien attacks. Will you prioritize efficiency and risk your workers' safety, or focus on defense for survival? Fretless, The Wrath of Rifson on PC from developer Ritual Studios and publisher Playdigious Originals. In this turn-based RPG, wield powerful legendary instruments, gather mighty riff attacks, and save the land from Rick Rifson's devilish goons and musical hybrid monsters. So apparently you play as a musician who has to stop this evil CEO from using a music competition to own all the music in the world.
Ooh. It's like Trolls World Tour a little bit.
A little, yeah. He is Coming, released on PC from developer Chronicle and publisher Hooded Horse. Deep in the forgotten corners of the world, a dark force stirs. The Demon King rises once more. Sharpen your wits, seek out powerful artifacts, and stand firm in the face of the apocalypse in this roguelite RPG auto-battler. Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact, released on PC, Switch, and PlayStation from Bushirpad Games and Arc System Works. Hunter x Hunter's first full-fledged fighting game is now available with 3 versus 3 Nen ability team battles. Aim for victory with your own strongest team. My Friendly Neighborhood made its way to Xbox and PlayStation. That was like not a shadow drop. I think it got a couple days in advance announced. But My Friendly Neighborhood, for those who don't know, it was a game that came out I think it was a couple years ago. I think it was like shortly before we started the podcast. So it might have been a year ago or a couple years ago. I can't remember how old it is now. But it is basically Resident Evil meets the Muppets, where
it's like our tier list.
I think I've told you about this game. I don't know. But you play as this repairman who he's about to go home for the day, and he gets a call saying, hey, the old, I can't remember the old My Friendly Neighborhood studio. The antenna started up. Can you go in there and like deactivate it, make sure everything's fixed? The studio that owns it should have just torn it down, but they're not really doing anything with it. You get there, and all the puppets from the show are there, and they're alive, and they're not really creepy per se. You might find it a little creepy. Like there are horror elements, obviously. Yeah. But a sock puppet voiced by Arlo, the YouTuber that
the blue puppet,
the blue puppet
yeah.
YouTuber, voiced by him, is like, no, we turned the antenna back on because everybody needs our show. And you're like, oh, look, it's my job, man. And so you get a pistol that is made out of a Rolodex and shoot letters at these puppets.
Oh, I think I remember that.
And you deal with
I remember the Rolodex shooting letters.
Yeah. And you get like a shotgun that's made out of a textbook, and you get bombs that like explode, I think vowels or like commas or something like that. Anyway, it is very good. I need to beat it. I went to do the original ending, and the original ending actually leads you to a truly horror part of the game, because the rest of the game is like, oh, that's creepy, but once you get used to them just like in a corner and be like, oh, hello, how are you, you're like, okay,
it's fine.
Yeah,
you
don't get caught.
Yeah.
Don't get caught, because they hug you to death is how they don't like bite you, they just go friend, and then they hug you. Anyway, that is on Xbox and PlayStation 5 now. Neon Abyss 2 entered early access on PC from VWoo Games and Kepler Ghost. Dive into the cyber myth roguelike chaos of Neon Abyss 2, now featuring up to 4-player online co-op, more combat styles, and unlimited item synergies. Every run delivers a dramatic, action-packed experience you won't forget. RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business, released on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation from developer Taycon and publisher Nacon. Unfinished Business is a new standalone adventure of RoboCop Rogue City. Omni Tower is their fortress, violence their language. Face elite mercenaries all the way to the top of the tower and enforce the law amidst the chaos. Rugby League 26, released on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox from developer Big Ant Studios and publisher Nacon. Get ready for greatness. Step into the pitch in the most authentic rugby league experience ever. Whether you're chasing club glory, building a custom pro team, or rising through the ranks with a self-made superstar, Rugby 26 puts you at the heart of the action. The Drifter, released on PC from Powerhoof and Dave Lloyd, a pulp adventure thriller. A murdered drifter awakens, alive again seconds before his death. Hunted and haunted, help him untangle a mad web of conspiracy in this fast-paced point-and-click adventure. The Wandering Village, released on all major platforms from Stray Fawn Studio and Whisper Games. The Wandering Village is a city-building simulation game on the back of a giant wandering creature. Build your settlement and form a symbiotic relationship with the Colossus. Will you survive together in this hostile yet beautiful post-apocalyptic world contaminated by poisonous plants? And also on July 17th was the release of Donkey Kong Bananza on Switch 2 from Nintendo. Join DK and his companion Pauline as they delve deep underground and discover that this subterranean world is a lot more than it seems on the surface. Uncover a variety of environments such as arid canyons, lush forests, and frigid tundra as you peel back the world's layers. A little more of an accurate plot description is that Donkey Kong has gone to this other island away from DK Isle to find these giant banana gems, which are like edible gems that are shaped like bananas. And in the process, he clashes with this mining company called Voidco that is trying to race him to the planet core after knocking him underground, because they want to reach the planet core to get their wishes granted, and Donkey Kong's trying to get to the planet core to get him and Pauline's wish of being back on the surface granted. And that's that's the story, but it really isn't there a whole lot. I've managed to play a good 4 hours.
Yesterday, Trey was like, Stumpy and I are at the same exact spot.
Yeah.
He's like,
we might not be anymore unless he played more yesterday, I played a little more.
I shot him a message while you were talking. I'm like, hey, give me your other thoughts. He hasn't seen anything yet, but
I'm loving it so far. Right now, it's sitting at like a 9.5 for me.
I want to play it so bad.
The digging is satisfying because you just collect gold, and there's so much to collect. There's music discs, there's fossils that you also use as a currency. There's banana chips, there's gold, there's the banana gems, and I'll say one thing. Jay, your instinct is going to be to destroy everything and explore everything.
He told me that.
The game is not built for that. Like, it technically is, but
will I not be able to reach stuff if I do that?
Yes.
Okay.
So
what I
the
was worried
game is
about.
pretty good. So far, the game has been pretty good at being like, hey, this is where you want to dig for stuff, or that, like, as you're digging, you'll naturally find things that point you in the right direction. And so, and you also have a button where he'll slap the ground, and it does a little bit of damage to the ground, but not much. And
Yeah.
it'll do a sonar. So in your immediate area, depending on how
Okay.
much you've
So
upgraded your sonar, you'll go, oh, this is underground, and then so you'll know that
You don't have to do like everything.
Yeah.
I'll use that 100%.
or some
whenever I
ground, or
play it.
some parts of the wall will be a little thinner. Like you'll tell it's a
Yeah.
different color. You're like, okay, I'm supposed to
Yeah.
dig
There's something-
there
there's
instead
something
of just
there.
wildly punching everywhere.
Yeah.
Because there's also platforming elements. So yeah, and Pauline is a cute little. It's kind of like a Vanellope von Schweetz Wreck-It Ralph thing going on, where
Yeah.
she's on your shoulder most of the time. But yeah, Pauline's singing you use to like unlock challenges, and if you're lost, you can hold a button and she'll sing and Donkey Kong will whistle, and like musical notes
It's
will
just
flow
like
in
a
the
trail.
direction you need to go. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also like a big yellow dot that'll be like, if you point the camera in one, like you can look for the yellow dot and go, oh, I need to go that way. Like there's
Yeah.
plenty of ways to push you in the right direction. This has the level of polish that you expect from Nintendo that I was really not these aren't comparable games,
Yeah.
but like
Mario Kart.
had some polish was lacking some polish that's usually there, like, a list of objectives and just different things. This has it. You have the list of your objectives. You'll notice if you like the bananas are numbered, so you'll go, oh, I missed one. But sometimes they're not going to be available until you earn the ability to
Upgrades
go back up a floor.
Okay.
Because you're going deeper down. So
Yeah.
every floor is a different world. It's a beautiful game.
It looks so good. It looks so fun. I want to play it so bad.
Like I said, I've only played a little bit. There's only been a couple challenges where I'm like, I'm gonna have to go back to that later. Like,
Yeah.
Do we have thought? You said you had messaged Trey. Do we have his thoughts?
Yes, I have two messages from him. He said, it is absolutely overwhelming. A person with OCD's worst nightmare. The game is Super Mario Odyssey on steroids. And then later he said, the Bananza forms are great. Pauline is not annoying, and everything feels super crunchy and satisfying. He's loving it.
That's pretty much, you know. I'd never had any fear that Pauline would be annoying. She is like, she is the only character that has fully voiced dialogue. Everyone else has fully voiced dialogue, but it's
like,
not.
"Ooh."
It's like, Pauline. It's like Star Wars.
Yeah.
When they're like, Uta Bata Solo. It's
just different variations of the same thing.
Yeah. So
different
it's
inflections,
just
I should
like,
say.
but the thing is though, it is almost like they worked on what the monkey language would be, because when they're talking, it's like, oh, it's like, it kind of makes sense as a language.
Yeah.
And then they'll say the name. So they'll be like, DK, and Pauline's name is there. But Pauline is fully voiced. When you are in the Bananza forms, the song she sings to activate that form keeps playing, but don't be worried because the songs are really good, so you likely
good.
won't be that annoyed by it.
Yeah.
I haven't,
play
like I
it so
said, I haven't gotten to
bad.
play that much, but the little amount I've played, and from what you can tell from Trey's thoughts, is
shout out to Trey.
It's like 9.5,
Yeah.
almost out of 10. IGN gave it a 10.
Yeah. I saw that. I was
IGN
like, oh my
barely
goodness.
gives things a 10. I also rarely agree with IGN because unless a game is super good, then obviously we're all going to agree that a game's good. But sometimes they'll be like,
What
"Oh
do they
yeah,
give
this game's like a
Astrobot?
5," and I'm like, I don't know, I thought it was like a 7. Like,
Yeah,
I'm usually
yeah.
a couple points higher than what IGN's going to give them.
Yeah, it's like
But
me
no,
with Rotten Tomatoes.
We're in
like,
agreement here. This game's pretty good.
Yeah. I want to play it so bad. I want to switch to so bad so I can play it.
But yeah, loving Donkey Kong Bananza so much. I wonder how
Good.
many times I've said that since we started talking about the game.
I mean, we knew.
Yeah,
We knew.
I will
knew.
say there are times when I can't tell if Donkey Kong's fur color is supposed to be brown or orange. Like sometimes,
You know what? I can tell that.
just from this gameplay, like most other games, it usually sticks to one or the other. But
It's like depending on like the kind of lighting of the
yeah,
area you're in.
But he's so expressive. I love how expressive he is. I love the new design. When you unlock clothes, it actually It's like Mario Odyssey. It changes how his clothes look and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just like, oh, I'm equipping this equipment. It's fully new costumes. But the difference between Mario Odyssey and this is the costumes actually give you bonuses. So Pauline's dresses will each have a bonus. Donkey Kong's ties and pants, if you want him to wear pants, will have different bonuses like higher swimming speeds, upgrade or Bonanza forms lasting longer, stronger punches, things like that. On top of there being a skill tree. So
yes. Oh, I love skill
every
trees.
5 bananas you get 1 skill point. And the game does kind of put a star next to the one it wants you to have, because there's a couple you want to get from the beginning, because there will be areas that the game wants you to go you cannot go to if you don't get that upgrade. Mm-hmm. So there are some upgrades that are like required, but everything else after that is just whatever you want. Upgrade him how you like. Hopefully there's enough bananas to upgrade everything to max, because that's how I play. I just
if not, then
everything.
like New Game Plus. Is that a thing for Nintendo games?
Yeah, there's been New Game Pluses for games. Zelda will sometimes have New Game Plus. Their RPGs will sometimes have New Game Plus. It depends. They've done New Game Plus before, just not as often as other companies do. I do have some more releases this week, though. On July 18th, Forgotten 23 released on PC from developer Koval Games and publisher Indie.io. Space Station Forgotten is in a decaying orbit, and engineer Max Novak is the only hope of averting catastrophe with only 23 minutes and endless time loops to spare. Navigate a dark sci-fi adventure, learn more about every loop, and solve challenging platforms and uncover the dark secret of the Forgotten. Return to the Core, released on PC from developer Tanzan Studio and publisher 2B Games and Shochiku. Mine, build, and explore the monster girl companions in this underground sandbox adventure. Uncover lost tech, automate production, and forge bonds with allies as you fight to survive and journey back to the surface. Phantom Squad, released on PC from developer Control Freak and publisher Super Rare Originals. Phantom Squad is an intense 1-to-4 player tactical top-down shooter that blends fast-paced combat with real-time strategy. Shadow Labyrinth, released on all major platforms from Bandai Namco. Shadow Labyrinth is a 2D action platformer and genre-twisting alternate take on the iconic Pac-Man. You might recognize this from the Secret Levels show on Amazon
is that the game?
Prime. Yes.
Oh, shoot.
As the swordsman, you wake on a mysterious planet amidst relics of wars past. To survive, you will discover secrets, consume your enemies, and grow from prey to apex predator. I will say the gameplay is not near as grotesque as the short was.
Oh, thank goodness.
There is a little bit of
I showed my mom that short, and she's like, ew.
There is a little bit of a transformation thing, but the game is a lot more animated with like that paper puppet kind of style where they, it's 2D. And there are dark versions of non-Pac-Man characters in the game, though. There's some messed up Dig Dug enemies in there.
Oh, dude.
And finally, on July 18th, Who's at the Door, released on PC from Sconic Entertainment. You are trapped in a small house, suffering from psychosis with no memory. Carefully observe your surroundings to distinguish reality from hallucinations and overcome your illness by taking medication from visitors at the right time. That's a horror game, obviously.
Yeah.
Those are my releases for this week.
I got my first batch of miscellaneous and posters. Got a poster for Stranger Things Season 5. Hoppers, Black Swan, 15th Anniversary IMAX re-release. Character posters for Mortal Kombat 2. Toy Story, 30th Anniversary re-release. Nobody 2, a 40X poster. And the first poster for Spider-Man 2.1, which is the extended cut of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 being released in theaters for the first time ever. And trailers, we got a trailer for The Girlfriend releasing September 10th on Amazon Prime Video. The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball releasing July 28th on Hulu. After the Hunt, October 10th in theaters. Stranger Things Season 5, Part 1 releasing November 26th on Netflix. Hoppers releasing March 6th in theaters. WWE Unreal releasing July 29th on Netflix. Fixed releasing August 13th on Netflix. I watched it and I went from wanting to see the movie to being like, I'm not going to watch this.
No, Fixed. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Look, I am a big fan of the creator of this. I'm not a big fan of that because it's just, you know how you kept teasing me with Sausage Party?
I know.
This is another Sausage Party situation where I'm
where I'm like, that's too much.
Where I'm like, yeah, no, you're going a little too far.
Yeah, and then some.
And this has its fans. But look, adult animation can be made for adults without having to just be a raunchy sex comedy.
Yeah.
And look, second animated movie, because this one was originally going to be in theaters, but then surprise, surprise, now we know why they had a tough time getting it to come out for a while.
Because
my original thought was, oh, it's just animated, but no.
This for the content.
I can see how this is a tough sell.
Yep.
And I hate, because I'm usually want to be like, support original movies. We need original, especially animated movies. But I do have a line, and that crosses it just a little bit.
Yeah.
I laughed at some parts.
I did too.
But this might be a I watch clip compilation.
Yes.
Kind of movie.
I'm probably not going to watch the full thing. I'm just like, I watched it and I'm like, insert Tina groan here. Got a new trailer for Tron Ares releasing October 10th in theaters, and the first trailer for Mortal Kombat 2 releasing October 24th in theaters. In release dates, the Godzilla -1 sequel could release as soon as next year. In casting, Artificial, which Luca Guadagnino's next movie, Cooper Coach has been cast. Street Fighter, Vidya Jamal has been cast as Dalsim. Oh, the Places You'll Go announced that Ariana Grande and Josh Gad will be playing the main characters, which means Ariana Grande's now second movie with John M. Chu. Werewolf, Robert Eggers' new movie. Aaron Taylor Johnson will star as the titular werewolf. Willem Dafoe has been cast, and Lily Rose Depp will also reportedly star, which leads me to wonder. I don't think. I think Nosferatu was like mid 15th century. This set in the 13th century. Also would have been like, is he reusing the same cast? And Willem Dafoe is going to be Van Helsing. The Legend of Zelda movie has announced that Benjamin Evan Ainsworth has been cast as Link, and Bo Bragason has been cast as Zelda by the Nintendo Daily.
By looks, I'm liking it. They're
going for a younger one.
They've
obviously.
been in some stuff. Yeah. As soon as I saw that rumor that what the age range they were looking for, I was like, oh, then Hunter Schafer's not getting cast. Yeah, but yeah, I am happy that these kids, basically, I say kids. One of them, she is. Zelda Bo is, I think, my sister's age, so she's like 4 years. I think 04, so she's 21. And then but what's his first name?
Benjamin Evan Ainsworth.
Yeah, that's why Benjamin, because Ben drowned. Anyway, it's a Zelda creepypasta.
I was about to be like, what?
It's a Zelda creepypasta, so it's funny that a kid named Ben is playing Link because a kid named Ben in the creepypasta possesses Link and a copy of Ocarina of Time and
drowns.
Ben drowned, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
Anyway, he's younger than the Wii. He's 16. He was like born in like 2008 or something. Oh my
goodness, the Wii is over 16. I thought they were going to say something like 12 or 13 or something. We cannot have this conversation.
No, the Wii came out in like 2006, dude.
Oh, Jay. Anyway.
So I just, by looks, I'm liking where they're going. I haven't watched anything either of them have been in. They've been in some stuff like I looked at
Benjamin looked familiar, or at least the name.
He was in some Netflix originals. He was in some. He was the voice of live action Pinocchio
and Flora and Ulysses.
He's one of the main characters in Son of a Critch. He's in an episode of Haunting of Bly Manor. Anyway, so he's been in some stuff, and then Bo Bragason has also she's been in some stuff that
Renegade
English audiences will know a little better.
Oh, was she the main character in Renegade Nell?
No, the main character in Renegade Nell was Louisa Harland.
Yeah.
She's a side character in it though. She's Nell's sister, according to this list.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was in the Radleys, and she's just been in some stuff. Nerds are gonna know her. She did the motion capture for one of the Final Fantasy movies based on Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
When she was like 11 or 12.
A kid.
So,
a child.
But yeah, I'm liking it. I'm going to be a lot more critical of who they get for Ganondorf. Everyone else, the thing about Zelda is no matter what they did, as long as there's like a basic look there that they follow, they can.
Then you're good.
Tall, short, nose looking. It doesn't matter because the whole point of the Zelda series is every game is a different iteration of the same characters.
Yeah.
Because it's a video game and they don't want to follow one big timeline. They just want to use the same characters over and over in different forms. So, depending, but I will be a little more like Ganondorf is the most
big deal.
Like if we want to go with like, okay, they're getting some people that are lesser known. I don't see that happening with Ganondorf because they're going to want one name to bring in casual audiences.
Yeah.
So I see Ganondorf being the character, unless they're like, oh, Impa is Jane Lynch, and then it's like, okay, we have that one character she's not in it a whole lot, but she'll bring people in.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I'm pleased that overall, long rant short. I'm pleased.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
So far, we'll see.
So far.
We'll wait until the trailer comes out.
Exactly. Yeah. For the Friday the 13th prequel series is cast Callum Vinson as Jason Voorhees. The Thomas Crown Affair for the second episode in a row. Taylor Russell will no longer star due to creative differences. And Invincible Season 4, Matthew Rhys has been cast. I also saw that they have cast Voldemort for the Harry Potter series, but they're not going to reveal who it is.
Revealing it, yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean it's a big name, or does that mean it's like...
What did I see someone say online? Oh, Pedro Pascal.
It better not be.
They're like, that means Pedro Pascal's played it.
It better not. It
No,
better stinking not be.
No.
I'd rather Tom Mulaney play...
Tom, who?
John... It is too late. We have not recorded this late.
In a while.
I'd rather John Mulaney play Voldemort than Pedro Pascal.
That is all my first batch of miscellaneous.
And my gaming news, great segue because Zelda into gaming news. Anyway,
there you go.
Top-down action shooter The Razor Form was announced for PC. Explored a classified laboratory unleashing the Razor Form of being beyond time and reality. Pokemon-inspired city-building game Tamer Town was announced, coming to early access Q2 2026 on PC, Switch 2, Xbox, and PlayStation. A full release is planned for Q1 2027. Agent of Strange was announced, described as a narrative sandbox thriller in which the player is trapped in a 20th century town cut off from the rest of the world. Frosthaven enters early access July 31st on PC. Kaku Ancient Seal arrives on PS5 and Xbox October 17th. It is available now on PC. Little Red Dread announced Liminal Exit, a horror puzzle game coming to PC. Dead Take, an escape room horror game about an actor searching for his friend in a deranged director's mansion, releases July 31st on PC. Spy Agency Management Simulator Quartermaster was announced, coming to PC. Wretch Divine Ascent has gotten a release window of October 2025. Valiant Tactics releases August 4th. A teaser trailer released for Shadows of the Lost, a dark fantasy action RPG coming to PC. And puzzle platformer Lost Twins 2 has a release window of August 2025 on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Nice.
My gaming news.
I got my last batch of miscellaneous and new looks. We got a new look at Benedict Wong and Weapons for the second episode in a row. New look at Carl Urban as Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 2. Stranger Things Season 5 gave us our first look at Vecna's new design and first look at Linda Hamilton. We got a new clip from Bambi the Reckoning, first look at Jeff Bridges and Tron Ares, new look at the live-action Splinter Cell. That's not live-action, it's animated. Why did I say that? And we got exclusive new looks at The Roses. In first looks, we got our first look at Dominic McLaughlin as Harry Potter in the Harry Potter series, as well as the first look at Nick Frost as Hagrid, announcing that the filming has begun. First look at Io Debris and Andrew Garfield in After the Hunt. First look at Brendan Fraser in Rental Family. The film follows a struggling actor who is hired as a token American guy for a Japanese rental family company in Tokyo. Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Going back a little bit.
Yes.
So if the Harry Potter remake is good, I think the key to remaking is just getting Nick Frost to play the funny bearded guy.
Yes. True. Ballad of a Small Player. We got our first look at Colin Farrell, Fala Chin, and Tilda Swinton. The film follows a high-stakes gambler who must lay low in Macau after his past starts to catch up with him. And first look at Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock in Practical Magic 2 for the second episode in a row. In box office earnings, Jurassic World Rebirth for the third episode in a row has passed $500 million worldwide. Elio has passed $100 million worldwide. Lilo & Stitch has officially become the first Hollywood movie in 2025 to pass $1 billion worldwide. The Odyssey, for the third episode in a row, you didn't think you'd be hearing this early in this category, has already earned around $1.5 million due to the IMAX 70 millimeter pre-sale tickets as they went on sale this week. And it's just a year out. And F1 and Sinners are both two of the top 10 highest grossing films of the year so far, both being original films. How to Train Your Dragon for the second episode in a row released on digital this week. And in new announcements, a new Amityville movie is in the works with Deadstream directors Joseph and Vanessa Winter set to direct. A live-action My Little Pony movie is in the works. Rolls my eyes aggressively.
So this is the original My Little Pony, and I know this because I know
Not Friendship is Magic.
Not Friendship is Magic, like 1980s My Little Pony. There were human characters because the ponies looked a little more like actual ponies and not just cartoon horses. I mean, they were still
ponies, sir.
Cartoon ponies. They were a little more horse-like. Yes, they're all cartoon ponies, but they were a little more horse-like in appearance, to where them and humans in animated form appearing at the same time wasn't weird. So they could do that here if they're really wanting the nostalgia and go into the 80s. But what I'm fearing is that it's going to be the friendship is magic characters, because they tried to come up with new generations and they just didn't do as well as the friendship is magic characters did. Are coming to the real world, probably New York.
Probably
they have to stop.
They're gonna go Smurfs it,
they're making a live action Equestria Girls, which is their human, that's their human forms.
Yeah,
I grew up watching The Hub a lot, so I know a little more about My Little Pony than I should. But I have a little sister and a mom who grew up on the My Little Pony, that's my excuse.
I thought you were gonna say your fear of this movie was bronies coming out in groves.
No. Dude, no. Look, there's bronies and then there's bronies.
That's what I meant. I meant the bronies.
Okay, yeah. I will give them the benefit of the doubt that they might go with the more Barbie approach of let's kind of all encompass instead of just focusing on one specific part that everyone remembers, or like everyone in recent memory will remember.
Yeah.
It's
going to be interesting regardless. And let's be honest.
Look at me being all glass half full. With a movie based on plastic horses. Ponies, sorry.
And ponies, yeah. Don't you make that mistake again, I'm walking out. Just kidding.
If Jay was a pony, his cutie mark would be
a butt. Or a green gas cloud.
Either a green gas cloud or like just
Mountain Dew can.
I would say just like a big glass of Baja Blast.
Exactly. Just branded onto me. Oh my goodness. Okay, we need to move on from My Little Pony before we get more. Louis Pullman and Maya Hawke will star in a new surrealist rom-com, Wishful Thinking. Film follows a volatile couple who discovers their emotional state has supernatural consequences on the world around them. I don't know why I'm laughing through that. Millie Bobby Brown and Gabriel LaBelle will star in a new Netflix rom-com, Just Picture It. Film follows two college students who are shocked when their phones glitch, showing them pictures from 10 years in the future as a happily married couple with kids. Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell will star in a new comedy titled Tough Guys. Film follows two goons who are tired of being disposable and break free from the criminal underworld. This has me wondering why I have not thought about Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell being in a movie together, because it's perfect. A live-action Assassin's Creed series has been greenlit at Netflix with Roberto Patino from Westworld and David Weiner from Halo will serving as showrunners. A new Dredd movie is in the works with Taika Waititi set to direct. A live-action Captain Planet series in the works at Netflix. Leonardo DiCaprio and Greg Berlanti will executive produce the series with their production companies. And Toho is planning a potential sequel for Shin Godzilla. Two pieces of miscellaneous mentionables. The copyright for a Donkey Kong movie has been registered by Universal. And as we previously mentioned, IMAX 70mm tickets for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey have gone on sale and I think quickly sold out within hours, if not an hour.
That's a year out, isn't it?
Yep. That's why I'm like, it's going to show up on box office and not again for a year. And that is all of my news. First batch of news, at least. Second batch of news.
Or second batch, because in place of this day in history,
I have something else, yeah.
Doing something else, but I do have anniversries.
Yes, I know a couple.
Just a handful. July 13th was the 15th anniversary of Inception and the 35th anniversary of Ghost.
Ooh.
July 14th was the 25th anniversary of X-Men, the 15th anniversary of Sorcerer's Apprentice, the 20th anniversary of Threads of Fate on PS1, the 20th anniversary of Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix on GameCube, a.k.a. the only game in which Waluigi is the main antagonist, and the 15th anniversary of King of Fighters 13. On July 15th, we had the 20th anniversary of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and the 20th...
Oh, I forgot that was 2005.
Yeah, and the 20th anniversary of Wedding Crashers. July 16th saw the 10th anniversary of Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, and the 10th anniversary of Pokken Tournament. July 17th saw the 10th anniversary of Ant-Man.
Oh, my goodness.
And the 15th anniversary of Paper Mario the Origami King on Switch. July 18th was the 35th anniversary of Arachnophobia.
I haven't seen that.
That is one of the few horror movies I've ever watched because it's more comedy than horror.
Yeah.
And then July 19th was the 30th anniversary of Clueless.
Yes, that's right. In lieu of This Week in Pop Culture History, I do have the 77th Emmy nominations announced this week. Best Comedy Series nominations were Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking the Studio, and What We Do in the Shadows. Best Actor for Comedy nominations went to Adam Brody from Nobody Wants This, Seth Rogen from The Studio, Jason Segel from Shrinking, Martin Short from Only Murders in the Building, and Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. Hoping it was Seth Rogen because I'm getting back into The Studio. Best Actress for Comedy, Uzo Aduba from The Residents, Kristen Bell from Nobody Wants This, Quinta Brunson from Abbott Elementary, Iowa Debris from The Bear, and Gene Smart from Hacks. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy, Ike Barinholtz from The Studio, Coleman Domingo from The Four Seasons, Harrison Ford from Shrinking, finally, Jeff Hiller from Somebody Somewhere, Eben Moss Backrack from The Bear, Michael Urie from Shrinking, and Bowen Yang from Saturday Night Live. Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy went to Liza Colin-Zayas from The Bear, Hannah Einbinder from Hacks, Katherine Hahn from The Studio, Janelle James from Abbott Elementary, Catherine O'Hara from The Studio, Cheryl Lee Ralph from Abbott Elementary, and Jessica Williams from Shrinking. Best Guest Actor in a Comedy went to nominations with John Bernthal in The Bear, and then the rest of these are from The Studio: Bryan Cranston, Dave Franco, Ron Howard, Anthony Mackie, and Martin Scorsese. Best Guest Actress in a Comedy nominations went to Olivia Colman from The Bear and Jamie Lee Curtis, also from The Bear. Cynthia Erivo from Poker Face, Robbie Hoffman and Julianne Nicholson, both from Hacks, and Zoe Kravitz from The Studio. Best Directing for a Comedy nominations were Iowa Debris in The Bear, Lucia Aniello from Hacks, James Burrows from Mid-Century Modern, Nathan Fielder from The Rehearsal, and Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg from The Studio. And Best Writing for a Comedy went to Abbott Elementary, Hacks, The Rehearsal, Somebody Somewhere, The Studio, and What We Do in the Shadows. Best Drama Series went to Andor: A Star Wars Story, The Diplomat, The Last of Us, Paradise, The Pit, Severance, Slow Horses, and The White Lotus. Best Actor in a Drama went to Sterling K. Brown from Paradise, Gary Oldman from Slow Horses, Pedro Pascal from The Last of Us, Adam Scott from Severance, and Noah Weil from The Pit. Best Actress in a Drama went to Kathy Bates from Matlock, Sharon Horgan in Bad Sisters, Britt Lower in Severance, Bella Ramsey in The Last of Us, and Kerry Russell in The Diplomat. Best Supporting Actor in a Drama went to Zach Cherry from Severance, Walton Goggins and Jason Isaacs, both from The White Lotus, James Marsden from Paradise, Sam Rockwell from The White Lotus, and Tremel Tillman and John Turturro, both from Severance. Best Supporting Actress in a Drama went to Patricia Arquette from The Severance, Carrie Coon from The White Lotus, Catherine Lanassa from The Pit, Julianne Nicholson from Paradise, Parker Posey and Natasha Rothwell, and Amy Lou Wood, all from The White Lotus. Best Guest Actor in a Drama went to Juan Carlo Esposito from The Boys, Scott Glenn from The White Lotus, Sean Hatosi from The Pit, Joe Pantoliano and Jeffrey Wright both from The Last of Us, and Forrest Whitaker from Andor: A Star Wars Story. Best Guest Actress in a Drama went to Jane Alexander from Severance, Gwendolyn Christie from Severance, Caitlin Dever from The Last of Us and Catherine O'Hara, Cherry Jones from The Handmaid's Tale, and Merritt Weaver from Severance. Best Directing for a Drama went to Andor: A Star Wars Story, The Pit. You got two of them in there. 2 nominations in the directing for Severance, one for Slow Horses and one for The White Lotus. Best Writing for a Drama nominations went to Andor: A Star Wars Story, The Pit, another one from The Pit, Severance, Slow Horses, and The White Lotus. Best Limited or Anthology Series went to Adolescence, Black Mirror, Dying for Sex, Monsters, The Lyle and Eric Menendez Story, and The Penguin. Best TV Movie nominations went to Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, The Gorge, Mountainhead, Nanas, and Rebel Ridge. Best Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie went to Colin Farrell from The Penguin, Stephen Graham from Adolescence, Jake Gyllenhaal from Presumed Innocent, Brian Tyree Henry from Dope Thief, and Cooper Coach from Monsters, The Lyle and Eric Menendez Story. Best Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series went to Kate Blanchett in Disclaimer, Megan Fahey from Sirens, Rashida Jones from Black Mirror, Kristen Milioti from The Penguin, and Michelle Williams for Dying for Sex. Best Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series went to Javier Bardem from Monsters, Bill Camp from Presumed Innocent, Owen Cooper from Adolescence, Rob Delaney from Dying for Sex, Peter Sarsgaard from Presumed Innocent, and Ashley Walters from Adolescence. Best Supporting Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series went to Erin Doherty from Adolescence, Ruth Negga from Presumed Innocent, Deidre O'Connell from The Penguin, Chloe Sevigny from Monsters, Jenny Slate from Dying for Sex, and Christine Tremarco from Adolescence. Best Directing went to Adolescence, Dying for Sex, The Penguin, another one from The Penguin, Sirens, and Zero Day. And Best Writing went to Adolescence, Black Mirror, Dying for Sex, The Penguin, and Say Nothing. And Best Animated Program went to Arcane, Bob's Burgers, Common Side Effects, Love, Death, and Robots, and The Simpsons. And then some general fun facts. Owen Cooper has become the youngest actor to ever get an Emmy nomination in his respective category. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are now Emmy nominated for both seasons of The Last of Us. Harrison Ford got his first Emmy nomination at the age of 83. The Studio has become the most nominated comedy series of all time at the Emmys with a single season with 23 nominations. Severance is the most nominated show this season with 27. And Kathy Bates is the oldest woman nominated at the Emmys in her respective category ever. Also means half of the Fantastic Four got Emmy nominations. And that is my Emmy nominations.
In anime news, several English dubs received release dates. Cultural Exchange with a Game Center Girl released July 19th. Most of them were actually they were given release dates. And it was like the next day or 2 days later. Secrets of the Silent Witch released July 18th. Kaiju number 8 season 2 released July 19th. Night of the Living Cat released July 20th. With You and the Rain released July 19th. My Dress Up Darling season 2 released July 19th. The Water Magician released July 17th. Reborn as a Vending Machine, I Wonder the Dungeon Depths season 2 released July 16th. On Mayo Chitin Rebirth released July 16th, and New Saga released July 16th. Hell Mode premieres January 2026. I Parry Everything Season 2 was announced. A new anime in the Cyborg 009 series has been announced titled Cyborg 009 Nemesis. Plus Size Misadventures in Love premieres October 6th. That is a romantic comedy anime about that might have some that might also be part murder mystery about a plus-sized girl, which is rare for anime.
Yeah.
Without it making like her the butt of the joke. And the most I've seen is there are jokes about her eating a lot, but other than that, it's like, no, she's just a main character.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
that's kind of cool.
I also love a rom-com murder mystery.
Right? Or attempted murder.
Oh, attempted
murder mystery. An anime adaptation of Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You has been announced for a 2026 release. At age 45, office worker Sasaki has had enough of the corporate grind. Only his solace is smoking and the friendly smile of supermarket cashier Yamada. When Sasaki can't find Yamada after a particularly trying day, a striking woman invites him to smoke with her. The despondent man thinks he's made a new smoking buddy in the cool, teasing Tayama, but Sasaki doesn't realize he already knows her. An anime adaptation of Snowball Earth has been announced for 2026 release. Yukio was destroyed in battle, and Tetsuo survived in an escape pod. After 8 years in cold sleep, the escape pod finally lands back on Earth. But when Tetsuo emerges, he finds a world in ruins, entirely frozen beneath a blanket of ice and snow. Snowball Earth. What happened to humanity? How did the planet freeze over? And will Tetsuo be able to keep his last promise to Yukio? Kagaku Boken Survival Season 2 premieres October 4th. An anime adaptation of Kusunoki's Garden of the Gods has been announced for a 2026 release. An anime adaptation of Mao was announced for spring 2026. And a new Monster Strike anime, Deadverse Reloaded, premieres in October 2025. And I have descriptions of others, but we're running longer than we've usually done of the last couple weeks already. So I thought I'd just cut it off there.
Yeah.
No comic news.
No comics?
I didn't write it down, but there is a new, so the Absolute Comics launched last year, and the whole story behind the Absolute Universe is that somehow dead Darkseid becomes like this godlike being and creates a new universe where instead of hope being the main theme of the DC universe, it's despair. And so everyone has altered backstories to match kind of like this darker tone, but it's almost dark to the point of like, and then this happens, and you're like, you have to get your, even for comic books, you have to get your suspension of disbelief a little, because Batman is this 20-year-old like 6'3", 250-pound muscle guy who works as a construction worker and somehow still affords to be Batman. And then Bane is like 3 times his size. So like you got to have a little bit of Anyway, so there is a new crossover event happening in the main DC universe where all the DC heroes have realized the only way to defeat Darkseid is to do what he did and become the most powerful being and be granted the ability to like create universes so they can defeat Darkseid and bring him back down before he can cause any more damage to like already existing universes. So the way to do that is to have an all-out brawl. So it's a fight between
I saw that.
a bunch of all the DC superheroes will be fighting each other, and the winner of the brawl will hopefully have the power to defeat Darkseid by the end of it, is apparently what it is. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I didn't write that down, but I'm like, oh yeah, then there is a crossover event that is about to happen. So look forward to, if I see that out of the corner of my eye, me bringing any ridiculousness that comes from that.
Yeah. On my comic book side of things, on DC, Superman for the 13th episode in a row, we got a lot of box office numbers to talk about. Opened with $220 million worldwide on a budget of $225 million, which is the biggest global opening weekend for any solo Superman movie. Earned $12.9 million domestically in Monday's sales, which was the third biggest Monday box office of 2025 so far. Earned $17.1 million domestically on Tuesday and $11.8 million domestically on Wednesday, which both of those are the biggest Tuesday and Wednesday box offices of 2025. Michael Rosenbaum was revealed to be one of the voices of the Raptor Guards, and it also led to a 513% increase in Google searches for Adopt a Dog Near Me. Supergirl, we got our first poster, the Batman Part 2. For the second episode in a row, Warner Brothers and DC are said to be very thrilled with the script. James Gunn said he isn't writing the season of Creature Commando Season 2. Sergeant Rock, James Gunn says Luca Guadagnino is no longer involved, but the movie will still happen. He also said Millie Alcock's Supergirl will be, quote, a total mess, going on to say she's had a completely different background from Superman, a much more difficult background, end quote. James Gunn also said the DCU Batman and Wonder Woman films will immediately go into production if the scripts end up being good, and has later announced that the Wonder Woman movie is being fast-tracked. He also said the DCU is building towards a big event that is, quote, not what anyone thinks, end quote, after Superman. Saying, quote, if people watch next season of Peacemaker, they'll see where a lot of these things are going, end quote.
I think they're going for already dealing with the crime syndicate. Mm-hmm. That's the direction
what a
I
lot
think
of theories
going,
are.
Which might be that's not what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If he's like it's
True.
not what everyone thinks.
True.
Then maybe it's not. Maybe it's a different multiverse thing. I just hope they don't go complete multiverse yet.
Yeah.
Just like give us an alternate universe. We can handle that now.
Like Peacemaker, the retcon stuff.
Yeah, but like
Season 1. Yeah.
Don't go full crisis yet, please. Don't be going towards a crisis already.
Yeah.
You know what crisis means?
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or anytime DC names their storyline crisis, major things happen.
Yeah.
Like major things.
Yeah.
Like that's usually them resetting themselves. So it's like don't be already trying to pull from crisis stuff.
It'll be like a chapter 2, chapter 3 kind of thing.
Let us breathe a little bit. So chapter 1, Gods and Monsters.
Yeah.
We already know the authority. So I'm wondering if it's just
I saw someone theorize it's going to be Raven's dad.
Oh, Trigon?
Trigon, yeah. Because it fits into Gods and Monsters a little bit. He also said that Superman is very important in his next film, but it's not a direct Superman sequel. He also said it will not be World's Finest or Batman v Superman. And he also said The Flash and Aquaman are not expected to be introduced in the DCU within the next 2 years.
Which means they're probably chapter 2 people.
Yeah. I'd say Cyborg's going to be in there. Oh, no, he might be in Teen Titans.
Yeah, there's a Teen Titans movie happening.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, we don't know what's going to be in chapter 1 now, especially since they said
because they've announced it, like Dynamic
Some
Duo.
movies have been canceled, some movies have been fast-tracked, some movies have been delayed to further into the timeline.
And some we haven't even heard stuff like Booster Gold or The Themyscira.
Yeah.
Paradise Lost.
It's never going to happen.
Shane Top is Booster Gold.
But Shane Top as Booster Gold is such like a
on-point casting.
You know, even if they pull a Krasinski and just have him pop up in one movie, and if they kill him, and it's like that's not the real Booster Gold. Like, just give us something,
please, James, please. On the Marvel side of things, the Fantastic Four first steps for the 4th episode in a row got a new teaser, new look at Galactus, our first look at Paul Walter Hauser as Mole Man. The final runtime is confirmed to be 1 hour and 55 minutes, which is, fun fact, the exact runtime of The Incredibles. John Malkovich has been cut from the movie, unfortunately. Matt Shakman said he was torn apart because he acted in his first indie film. He was revealed to would have played the villain Red Ghost. Yeah. So we only got that one shot of him from the first trailer. Anyway.
I don't know. There's something about that where I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Let's have an act like you get your actors all listed and then
a big name actor too.
Completely cut him from the movie.
Yeah. Galactus' theme has been revealed. I did not listen to it because I want to wait until. And it's confirmed to feature 2 post-credit scenes, and Matt Shakman also confirms that the Russo brothers directed the post-credit scene. Spider-Man Brand New Day, Tom Holland says it will focus on shooting in real locations and using old-school filmmaking, saying, quote, we were really restricted with what we could do in the last movie because of COVID. Now we're really going to lean into that old-school filmmaking and shoot in real locations. We're going to use the streets of Glasgow for this massive set piece that we're putting together. Daredevil Born Again, Royce Johnson will return as Brett Mahoney from the Daredevil Netflix show. The Punisher special has begun filming, and Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is delayed by a few weeks to June 25th, 2027. I saw a couple people theorizing it's for a better IMAX window. And Ari Aster reveals that he was asked to direct Morbius, but he declined. And that is all my comics news. In celebrity deaths, David Kaff was 79. This is Spinal Tap keyboardist. Dan Rivera was 54. Paranormal investigator dies while on tour with the haunted Annabelle doll. Connie Francis was 87. Pretty Little Baby and Who's Sorry Now singer. Joanna Bacon was 72. Love Actually and Breeders actress. Judy Lowe was 78. Actress and mother of Kate Beckinsale. Alan Bergman was 99. Oscar-winning songwriter behind The Way We Were. Kota Srinivasa Rao was 83, Indian actor known for Little Soldiers and Ganesh. B. Saroja Devi was 87, an Indian actress. Alexander Mito was 92, Russian director and screenwriter known for Shine Shine My Star and Air Crew. Dheeraj Kumar was 80, an Indian actor known for Sargam. Taylor Wong was 75, Hong Kong director known for The Truth and With or Without You. Velu Prabhakaran was 68, Indian actor, cinematographer, and director. Humayun was 88, Iranian actor known for Topoli. Andrei Sokolov was 51, Russian animator known for Mr. Bean the Animated Series and What a Cartoon. Robbie Parlow was 46, City High singer. And Fish Venkat was 53, Indian actor and comedian. My sources for this week were Deadline, Movie Insider, U.S. Copyright Office, Flip Your Wig, Screen Rant, AMC, The Wrap, Nexus Point News, IGN, Television Academy, USA Today, Hollywood Reporter, Bloomberg, Entertainment Weekly, and of course, Discussing Film.
I want to thank my sources this week, Crunchyroll, IGN, Discussing Film, Indie Informer, and of the official sites and socials of the projects and studios mentioned today. And now on to the next part of our
Live-action comic book villains.
Live-action comic book villains tier list based on how successful they would be at selling Girl Scout cookies.
Yes.
This week we're only doing 5 because we did 7 last week to kind of all encompass the Lex Luthor thing.
Yeah, Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. This week we start out with Loki.
I
think S tier.
S tier, absolutely S tier.
Mischief.
Yeah.
Or we put him above. I think we put him above.
Yeah.
He's gonna shapeshift into a little girl and sell him. Magneto. Ian McKellen's Magneto.
Well, he can get a lot of people on his side, but he is still like widely known as a bad mutant.
Yeah.
So maybe.
But he's also very compelling.
Maybe B tier.
B tier.
It would be C, but it's bumped up because he does manage to get a lot of people on his side.
Yeah. I'm gonna put him below Kang.
Yeah.
Mysterio. Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio. He convinced the whole world that elementals were happening.
Yeah.
Using technology. He could probably hologram a little girl.
Probably A tier.
A tier.
If he's allowed to use his technology to do it, then yeah.
Above Catwoman.
Below.
Above this Lex Luthor. Gene
Sure.
Hackman.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito's Penguin.
D.
Bottom D.
Yeah.
Bottom D. Colin Farrell's Penguin.
C.
I was gonna say definitely above Danny DeVito.
A leg up, but like also.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him below Bane.
Yeah.
And that is our penultimate part of the tier list for this week. To recap, Loki joined Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor and Dr. Octopus in the S tier. Catwoman, Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor, and Killmonger were joined by Mysterio. Helmut Zemo and Kang were joined by Magneto in the B tier. The C tier, Colin Farrell's Penguin joined Green Goblin, Heath Ledger's Joker, and Bane. And the D tier, General Zod, Jack Nicholson's Joker, and High Evolutionary were joined by Danny DeVito's Penguin. And that is it for this week's episode.
Yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those interactive things. Be sure to follow the podcast on most social medias at Mondays or Mondays for Nerds. Be sure to follow me, Tristan Stump, on most social medias at Sir Stumpslot or Sir Stumpslot17.
And follow me on most social medias at PoThePanda001 or Chris M. Pratt Fan.
And one other thing, you'll notice that starting this week, Let's Plays are in fact returning.
Yes.
Trent will be editing those for us.
Thank you to Trent. Shout out.
And we are currently working on making sure we get another good batch done and try to keep on top of it.
ASAP.
Just forewarning, the batch we are putting out is a little old, but not too old.
Yeah.
It's just the one. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. You'll
so
see.
Be sure to be looking forward to that. If you also like to watch those things, I am very happy with what we've got.
Yes.
Waiting. All I need to do is make the thumbnails, and they will be scheduled for being out. So yeah. On that note, we will see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.